Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into one of the core pillars at the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support. We're focusing on the fifth workstream, gender equity and social inclusion. And this isn't just, a side topic. It's fundamental, tying directly into SDG 5 on gender equality and SDG 13 on climate action.
Exactly. That connection is absolutely critical. As head of Gender Equity and Social Inclusion Workstream, our work zeroes in on a major gap. We see marginalized groups, women, indigenous communities, people with disabilities, the elderly too. They're hit hardest by climate change impacts, and often they don't have a seat at the table decision-making wise and struggle to access resources for adaptation. It's a global issue,
right? And particularly in Africa, the situation feels even more acute, doesn't it? You got women making up a huge part of the agricultural workforce, but facing all these institutional barriers, socio-cultural ones too. It stops them from really participating in or even benefiting from climate resilience work.
Precisely. And that's where the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support steps in. We are aiming for transformative change, boosting the adaptive capacity of these groups. The core mission is about generating solid, actionable evidence that pushes decision-makers towards truly just climate policies. Precisely. And that's where the African Group of Negotiators Expert Support steps in. We're aiming for transformative change, boosting the adaptive capacity of these groups. The core mission is about generating solid, actionable evidence that pushes decision-makers towards truly just climate policies.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because good policy needs good data. And that first major milestone you've achieved seems to tackle exactly that, the problem of missing information.
Yes, absolutely. It kicks off with our flagship program, the Granular Gender and Climate Change Vulnerability Hotspot Mapping for Decision Support. This tool is just pivotal. It creates the essential sex disaggregated data and evidence we need. It goes beyond just numbers.
Sex disaggregated data. You hear constantly how that's a bottleneck, especially for climate finance. So, how does this kind of mapping actually shift priorities on the ground?
Well, it's quite direct. The data doesn't just say this region is vulnerable. No, it pinpoints exactly where high climate exposure smashes up against deep-seated gender inequality. For instance, in studies we did Kenya, Uganda, Botswana, Rwanda, Ghana, and now Ethiopia, we saw adaptation funds often just bypassing women-led farming groups completely. So the mapping forces a rethink of national plans. It shows funders where the money is going versus where it desperately needs to go.
That's really powerful. So if the data shows the gap, the next step is naturally filling that gap in decision, right? Tell us about the leadership initiative. That sounds fascinating.
Right? That leads us to milestone number 2. Empowering women's leadership, revamping gender mainstreaming for enhanced influence in major climate governance events. This was an inaugural program set up just in 2024, and importantly in partnership with the African Development Bank, the AFDB. It's about creating a pipeline for influence.
And what was the immediate result? What did that achieve straight away?
We directly strengthened the capacities of 10 African women leaders. This wasn't just generic training. It was focused on boosting their influence, their technical input into major global forums. We're talking COP29, the pre-SPB 62 meetings. It amplified their voices internationally and built this amazing network of women climate leaders who really know the policy inside out.
Excellent. Okay, third milestone. This seems to be about keeping that influence going through international advocacy.
Yes, that's ongoing crucial work. AGNES provides continuous support, technical backup, capacity building for gender negotiators and experts. These are the people drafting Africa's common position in the global climate negotiations. It's highly technical.
And why is that specific technical support so important year in, year out?
Because, these negotiations are incredibly complex. You need real technical fluency. By backing them, giving them the analysis and support they need, we empower them to push hard for gender-responsive policies that actually stick, that are binding. It strengthens Africa's overall position, making sure that fairness and inclusion, informed by all that gender equity and social inclusion data we talked about, are baked into the global climate agenda, not just an afterthought.
So, pulling this all together for you, the listener, what AGNES is doing with this fifth workstream, it's about fostering a deep transformative change. It's about genuinely improving adaptive capacity for those most affected, and crucially, linking solid data directly to building leadership and influencing international policy.
That's the key takeaway. Gender equity and social inclusion workstream aims to weave capacity and vulnerability together. So maybe something for you to think about is how these specific milestones, the granular mapping, the targeted leadership development, how they create real leverage points for global climate investment, moving us past just acknowledging the problem towards targeted evidence-based solutions that finance can get behind effectively.
That's right. Thank you for listening. Bye.